This
And
conference
in
will
today's
now
class,
be
let us see, we
recorded.
will discuss one of the major difference between the SAP ECC and the S4 HANA. So one thing is the master data, right? We discussed it during the previous class. There are some master data like vendor master as well as the customer master. So these are the two master data which are having majorly a difference between ECC and S4 HANA. Okay, so we also tried to create, as a part of previous session, we were able to create the vendor account groups. That is ZM01 we were able to create. We also created the number ranges. We assigned the number ranges to the vendor account group. So this particular configuration we were able to do it. Along with that, we also need to create the BP account grouping. We were able to create the BP account grouping L001, and we also able to create the number ranges for the BP grouping, that is 08, and we try to assign the number range to the BP grouping. Okay, so let me go to the system. We will see whether this particular configuration is already in place or not. Okay, so I will go to the, I will try to get into the S4 HANA functionalities, S4 HANA server. So this is some of the S4 server which I am having the access. Let me go to the S. So I will be going into the SAP logon pad. Okay, so this is the latest SAP S4 HANA server. Let me go to the system. Okay, so I will just log in into the SAP system. So here you see SAP S4 HANA 1909 FPS00 fully activated. Okay, so I will go to the S4H48. Welcome 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let me go to the configurations. If I wanted to create a configuration related to the vendor master data, I will go to the SPRO transaction code. We discussed in ECC, we will be able to create only the configuration related to vendor master data. Only two things are there. One is we need to create vendor account groups, then create the number ranges, assign the number ranges to the vendor account groups. So if you consider SAP ECC, these are the only the configuration which we are going to do it. But when it comes to the S4 HANA, along with the ECC configurations, we also need to create the configurations related to the BP account grouping and create number ranges for the BP account grouping and assign number ranges to the BP account grouping. So this is the additional configuration which we need to perform. Okay, so why SAP S4 HANA went for the BP business partner transaction code for the vendor master and the customer master? Because they wanted to integrate SAP S4 HANA with one of the other SAP system known as SAP. Let me go to the SAP S4 HANA, right? SAP S4 HANA. They want to integrate with the, there is one more system known as a SAP APO. APO is nothing but Advanced Planning Optimizer. Okay, so in the advanced planning, why there is a requirement to create the BP? Why SAP has gone through the creation of the only vendor master data in S4 HANA? The reason is they want to integrate SAP system with the one of the other module known as SAP APO. APO is nothing but advanced planning optimizer. Advanced planning optimizer. So this is one of the other module within SAP. So if you want to integrate, means if you want to flow the data from SAP S4 HANA to advanced optimizer, it can be a two-way transfer of the data. Sometimes you can transfer the data from S4 HANA to SAP APO, or sometimes if you want to transfer the data from advanced optimizer to the S4 HANA. So two-way transfer of the data. If you want to transfer the data and if you want to connect between SAP APO and S4 HANA, then we need to do that particular activity via business partner, not via vendor. So why? Because in SAP APO, you are creating all vendors and customers as a business partners. Customer and vendors you are creating as a customer master, creating as a business partners here, business partners. So if you want to integrate SAP APO with S4 HANA system, in S4 HANA also you need to have the business partners available for the vendors and the customers. So that is the reason here also they wanted to go for the business partner creation. So that is one of the major requirement why they want to create a business partner in S4 HANA. Okay, right? So now I will go to the, I will try to see whether we will be able to create this particular configuration or not. So where I will see the configuration, I will go to the SPRO transaction code and SAP reference implementation guide and you will go to the vendor account groups. First I need to create the vendor account groups. Where I will be creating the vendor account groups, I will be creating the vendor account groups under financial accounting, right? So where is financial, I will go to the financial accounting and I will go to the account receivables or the account payables, and then I will go to the vendor accounts and go to the master data. So here you will be able to see under the preparation for creating vendor master data, here you will be able to see the define account grouping for the screen layout vendors. So I will just execute over here. So what is the vendor account group which I am trying to create? I am trying to create a ZM01. Let us see if ZM01 is available over here or not. Okay, so we were able to create ZM01 over here. Then I will go back and I will try to see the number ranges. So I will go to the number ranges creation. I will go to the intervals. So we have already a number range defined, that is 08. Okay, now I will go back. Then I need to assign the number range to the vendor account groups. So I will go to the assign number range to the vendor account groups. My vendor account group is ZM01. So for ZM01, I am able to assign the number range 08 over here. So the same configuration is also available in the ECC system. In ECC also you are going to have the same configuration if you want to create a vendor master. But what is the difference between the ECC and S4 HANA? The ECC and S4 HANA is we need to create a additional configuration over here. What is that additional configuration? Okay, so the additional configuration is, let me go back and I need to create a business partner account grouping. I am able to create ZM01. I also assigned the 08 to the ZM01. Okay, so ZM01 to, we were able to assign the number range 08 over here. Now BP account grouping, right? So we will go to the BP account grouping creation. Okay, so are you able to follow?
Sir, in last class you completed this whole thing, sir, up to master data synchronization.
Wait, boss. You have gone through 2 to 3 times, but others are freshers, right? Okay, so I was able to explain it to you for 2 to 3 times, but these people who are in the call, they haven't. This is the first time they are listening, right? Okay, so
Okay.
let them explain for them. Okay. Okay, so then we have BP account grouping, right? So where we are going to create the BP account grouping. So we will go to the, there is something known as a master data synchronization. I will go to the master, I will go to the cross application components. So this is the cross application components. In the cross application components, then we see there is one thing known as the SAP business partner. So I will go to the SAP business partner. Okay, then go to the business partner, then go to the basic settings. Then here you see there is something known as a business partner roles. Okay, so there are SAP standard business partner roles. Okay, so I will go to the define BP roles. Okay, so what are the business partner roles we have? We have FLVN00 and FLVN01. So these are the vendor master creation roles. Okay, so I will let me write it down over here. Okay, so we have a role FLVN00 and FLVN01. Okay, so these are the vendor master maintenance at the finance level. Okay, so this is at the company code level, right? So this is at the company code level role, company code level, and this is the purchasing organization plus general data level role for the vendor master. Okay, so and you have two more roles as well. Those are related to the customer master. Normally they will be considered in the sales and distribution module. So like you have FLCN00 and FLCN01. Okay, this is the company code level data maintenance of the customer master. So all these things are interview questions. So that is the reason I am trying to explain you. Okay, repetitively. Why? Because this is one of the major interview question in the SAP materials management. Okay, so company code level plus general data of the sales customer, right? Customer master. And this is the sales organization data, sales area data plus sales area plus general data of the customer role. This is the role, right? General data of customer. Huh? Pardon me? Okay, so this is also company code plus general data. Okay, so in S4 HANA, the roles plays a major role in creating the master data, like vendor and the customer master. So you need to keep it in your mind what are the roles that are being used for the vendors and the customers. So these are the vendor roles you have in between VN. VN is nothing but vendor. And if you see CN, okay, FL, CN00 and CN01, that is the customer master roles. CN or CU? FLCN, right? I think it is FLCN, I can say, or FLCU. Okay, okay, FLCU00. So these are the customer roles. Okay, let me make changes over here as well. FLCU00 and FLCU01. Okay, so we need to use the SAP standard roles. That is fine. You need not to create any new role over here. Now let me go back and I need to go to the BP groupings. Define BP role groupings, right? Define BP role groupings. Okay, so I will go to the role grouping. Any role grouping I can create. Huh? That is not grouping role, right? It is something else. Okay, so what I will do, I can create any role grouping. Let us say this is some of the role grouping created by somebody. Okay, so what I will do, I will select this and I will go to the BP role groupings. Okay, nothing is available over here, but let me see. Let us say if I take this particular grouping, within this 1 minute, I will see the, yeah, somebody created this one, right? So I will try to create one grouping. What I will do, I will select and I will copy as, and I will input. I will create one grouping, right? So I will create Tata grouping, Tata BP grouping. I will just specify Tata BP grouping. So I will just enter. I will click on copy all. So this is the Tata business BP role grouping which I have created. I will select. I will go to the BP role groupings. Within this particular BP role grouping, I need to assign the above roles which I have mentioned. So these are the 4 roles, right? FLVN01 and FLVN00, FLCU00, FLCU01. These are the 4 roles which I have assigned to the BP role grouping, that is Tata BP. Okay, so BP role grouping which we have created is, or we can use the existing role, or you can create your own grouping. So within that you can assign the relevant roles. So these are the 4 roles which we were able to select and assign it over here under Tata BP. Okay, so now let me go back. We were able to create a BP grouping role. Now let me go back. I will go to the BP role category groups, BP role exclusion group, define application transactions. So these things are not that much necessary. If you want to create you can create. So define BP role category. So you can create one category. Within the BP role category, you can assign the relevant categories over here, but this is not that much important. Okay, which just leave it, it's not required. Now I will go to the number ranges and the groupings. Okay, so I will go to the number ranges and the groupings. Here I need to define the number ranges for the BP grouping. So I will go to the number ranges. So here these and all the number ranges which are already created. You already know how to create a number range, right? It is simple. You just need to click on insert line and mention the from number and to number, so that it will be automatically create a number range integer over here. So I just selected the number range grouping as 08, and the BP grouping which I am trying to create is L001. Let me go to the define groupings and assign number ranges. I will go to the groupings, right? So I have created L001 over here. For L001, I have assigned the number range 08. So this is nothing but a BP grouping. Okay, this is not a vendor account grouping, it is a BP grouping. So I have created the BP grouping L001. For the BP grouping, I have assigned the number range as a 08. So this particular configuration we did it during the last class. L001 to 08, we were able to do that. So apart from this, we need to do some other configurations known as master data synchronization. So where is that master data synchronization? I will just select and I will go back. So here you see there is something known as master data synchronization. You see here there is something known as master data synchronization. And just let me go to the preparatory steps for master data synchronization is not required. I will go to the synchronization control. Here I will go to the synchronization control and activate synchronization objects, activate PPO. These are not required. Now I will go to the customer vendor integration. Here I will go to the business partner settings. Here I will go to the settings for the vendor integration, and here set BP role category for the direction to vendor. So I will just select it over here. So these are the roles, right? FLVN 00 and 01. So these are the roles that I have created for the vendor master related roles. Now I will go back. I will try to see what is there in these roles. Okay, so nothing is there. And I will just go back and I will go to the define BP role for direction vendor to BP. Okay, so whatever may be the roles that are there, like FLVN 00 and FLVN 01, I need to assign it to the BP grouping which I have created, right? So this is the BP grouping. What is BP grouping? BP grouping is L001. For BP grouping, I need to assign both the roles, that is FLVN00 and FLVN01. So I need to make the relationship over here, L0012 to FLVN00 and L0012 to FLVN01. So what I will do, I will go back and here I will select FLVN00 and FLVN01 and I will copy as, I will change the business partner groupings to L001. 001 does not check your entry. Is it BP role or is it for account group? Let me see. ZM01 already existed. Okay, I think we have maintained these entries for already for ZM01. I think okay, we have maintained these things, but I think I need to check whether these things we need to maintain. BP role for direction, vendor to business partner. Okay, for ZM01 and ZM01 we have assigned the FLVN01 and FLVN00. Let me now go back. Now field assignment for vendor integration. I will go to the field assignment for vendor integration and assign keys. Define number assignment for direction BP to vendor. So here for the BP grouping L001 and for the vendor account grouping ZM01, I need to make the relationship like this. Okay. Also define number assignment for direction BP to vendor. So here for ZM01 and L001, I need to assign the relationship. But if you want to create, if you are creating the vendor master data in business partner settings of the S4 HANA, it will create two numbers. One is for the vendor, one is for the BP. So if you want to have the BP number and the as well as the vendor number created same, you need to select this particular checkbox. Means if in S4 HANA, when you are creating the vendor master by using the BP transaction code, it will create two master data, two numbers it will generate. One is vendor number and one is BP number. Let us say if you want vendor number as created as 1000, if it is created as the vendor number, I discussed already, right? What is the difference between the why we are creating business partner and the vendor number? Vendor number we are going to create. Vendor number we are creating. I wanted to do the transactions in SAP system. So I will do the transactions based upon the vendor number only. Like I will create a purchase order. If I am creating a purchase order, I will use the vendor number within SAP materials management. If I am creating a contract, I will use the vendor number which got generated over here. Okay, let us say I generated the based upon the backend configuration settings. I generated the vendor number as a 1000. Also, I generated the BP number as a 1000. Sometimes I can generate different numbers as well. Vendor number I generated 1000 and BP number I generated 1001. Like this also we can do based upon the backend configuration settings. But yes, same number range. You need to maintain the number ranges same. Here maintain the number range same. Here also maintain number range same. Then it will create same numbers for the vendor as well as BP. Okay, so whatever may be the vendor number which I have created, I will be using this in doing the transactions in SAP materials management module, module. That's what I am saying. If you are doing the transactions in SAP materials management, you need to consider vendor number. But if you are doing the transactions in APO, then you need to consider BP number for the connection between the APO system and the SAP MM. Okay, so that is the difference, right? Okay, so yes, if you are using SAP APO, you are going to use the BP number over here. Okay, so any other questions? Let us say difference between BP and okay, so that is the main difference between BP and the vendor master. Okay, so if you want to generate a vendor number and the BP number almost same, then you just need to select same number over here. Not only same number, you are not permitted to use grouping with identical numbers. Why? Because if you want to maintain the same number over here, whatever may be the number ranges that you have assigned or the number integers which you have assigned, those should be equal. Let me see, I will show it to you where we created this BP groupings. Yes, so the define number ranges, right here. What is the number range in number range sequence for the 08? It is 460 to 819900, right? But let me go to the vendor account group numbering, where I will go to the vendor account grouping numbering. So I will go to the vendor account grouping numbering, right? So here it is there under financial accounting, right? So where is financial accounting? Let me go to the financial accounting. Where is financial accounting?
Sir, it is there in the top,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah, financial accounting, account receivables and payables, vendor accounts, master data, preparations for master data, and here you see create number ranges for vendor accounts, intervals, 08. See here it is something else. So you need to maintain the vendor number range integer and the BP integer same, then only you will be able to select over here as a same number range, otherwise it will not allow you.
How do we know the
Okay, so that
length
is,
that we give for the interval, sir? How much
I
length we
cannot
have?
hear you properly.
Sir,
Can you
we
repeat?
are from and to number we are entering some number, no, sir. How will we know how much length we need to give for a particular interval, sir, for a number range? Based on what we need to give the length, sir, for creating the number.
It is your requirement from the client, right? So the client will say, I want to identify the domestic vendors with this particular number range series. Then based upon the requirement that you have gathered from the client, you are going to map the number ranges accordingly. Everything
Okay.
you are going to map according to the client requirement. Let us say I am the client. I asked you to implement SAP in my company. So I will give inputs to you. So accordingly, you need to map the system. So that is how it works, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Satyanarayan garu, did you join the call today or not? Are you in the call?
Yeah, join in, sir.
Okay. Okay. So we can discuss that issue at the end. 5-10 minutes we will try to keep for that particular issue. Okay, let's go through this topic first, then we can go ahead and do your issue resolution. Okay, so let me now go back. So now we were able to complete the configuration related to the business partner grouping and the assignments of the BP grouping against the vendor account grouping. Now how I will be creating the vendor master data in S4 HANA. In ECC, how we created, can anyone tell what are the transaction codes that we used for the vendor master creation in a ECC system? Okay, so we have used xk01 for the creation and xk02 for change and xk03 for the display, right? But here we are not going to use xk01 and xk03 and xk04, but these are absolute ones, means they became absolute. That means non-usable transaction codes. Okay, so but instead of this, what you are going to use? You are going to use the transaction code BP. Okay, even though nothing but a BP is nothing but a business partner. If you want to, even though if you enter XK01 as a transaction code, it will automatically direct you to the BP transaction code. That is what it will happen. Okay, so in the BP transaction code, how I will be creating the vendor master, we will see. So I will go to the logistics and materials management, then purchasing, materials management, purchasing, and master data. We have the vendor central. So XK01, XK02, XK03, these are the transaction codes which we have used in the ECC as well, but here these are absolute transaction codes. If I wanted to create a vendor, I will just double click on XK01. So it will divert me into the transaction known as a BP. So you see over here redirecting to transaction BP as the transaction XK01 is absolute. Absolute means non-usable transaction. So I will select, if I wanted to create a vendor, I will select organization, or if I wanted to create a vendor as an employee vendor. So you will create employees also a vendor, right? So if you want to create employee vendor, you will select a person. And if you want to create a group company as a one of the vendor, then you need to select the group over here. But I am trying to create a normal vendor, so I will select the organization over here. So it will direct me to the BP transaction code. So this is the BP transaction code where you will have the this type of screen. Okay, so what I will do, I will try to 1 minute. So this is the transaction, this is the screen where I will be able to create a vendor. Let us say I said by using this particular screen, you will be able to create the customer master as well as the vendor master, both you can create. But I want to create a vendor. If I want to create a vendor, also I want to create a vendor for the general data plus the company code data first. Then where I will do, I will select the role, relevant role. What is the relevant role for the finance plus the general data? That is FLVN00, right? And FLVN01 is the purchasing organization data. You know already, vendor master data will be maintained at 3 levels: general data level, company code level, and the purchasing organization level. So if I wanted to maintain a vendor for the general data plus the company code level, I will select FLVN01. If I wanted to maintain at the purchasing organization data level, I will select FLVL01. So this functionality not there in the ECC, but here we have the roles. So I will just select the relevant role. I want to maintain a vendor for the general data of company code level information. So I will just click on enter button. Also, I will select the relevant BP grouping over here. So what is the relevant BP grouping? I have selected L001, right? So L001 is the BP grouping, right? So I just click on over here. I just enter. Now I will go to this is the general data of the vendor. So here you see general data is suppressed. That means I am now trying to maintain the general information of the vendor. What is the general information? The general information is nothing but your all the address details, also the tax related informations, also the bank details, also the contact person details of the vendor. All those things will be coming under general information of the vendor master data. So I will try to quickly maintain the general information over here. So I will select the company. Then let us say I want to maintain one of the vendor as a Samsung vendor. Can you hear me? I think somebody messaged me that they were not able to hear me. What about others?
No, sir.
Yes,
Your voice is
no
clear.
issues, sir.
Okay, okay. So I think Wasim Sheikh, there is some problem with your mic. Please check. Please check your mic. Others are isn't listening. Others able to listen. Okay, so now I will try to maintain the general information of the vendor. The same way how we maintain the address in case of the general, in case of ECC, I am going to maintain some dummy data over here for the vendor address. Okay, let me maintain some dummy information. So this is nothing but the address maintenance. The same way how we maintain in case of the ECC, the same way we need to maintain the address information as well over here. Okay, so I will select the language key as English, and rest of the fields are same. Okay, for the address maintenance. Then you have so many other changes as well in S4 HANA for the vendor master, right? Like you want to maintain the multiple addresses to a vendor. One is for the correspondence address, one is the home address, what is the business address. One vendor can have multiple addresses, right? Like he will have his own personal address, he will have his home address, he will have his office address, business address. Some, if he is playing a multiple roles like partner roles, one vendor can play multiple partner roles, right? What is partner role? Can anyone suggest what is the meaning of the partner role? Can anyone suggest? I think we discussed the partner roles.
Joint
Yeah.
business they can do.
Yeah. Anyone from the line, what is partner roles? What is the
Joint
partner
business,
roles?
joint business like friends have related something.
Pardon me?
It is a joint partnership.
Yeah, not a partnership. One vendor is behaving, or one vendor is acting multiple roles. He is doing multiple roles. Means, let us say vendor existency may be there in multiple places, right? Let us say he is having one registered office in Hyderabad. He is having also a registered office in Bangalore. He also having a registered office in Vijayawada. Let us say there is one vendor, MRF Limited. MRF Limited. He is having a registered office within Chennai, right? Registered office in Chennai. Again, he also can have a registered office located in Bangalore. So he also have a registered office in Hyderabad. He can also have a registered office near Delhi. Okay, but I am the company. Let us say MRF is the vendor, right? So MRF is the vendor. He is having multiple registered offices. I am the company's purchasing organization department or purchasing department. I want to buy a material from this vendor MRF Limited. If I want to buy a material like 1000 tires, what I will do, I will create a purchase order for 1000 tires, and I will place that particular purchase order to the registered address of the MRF Limited. So I am trying to create a purchase order and sending to the registered office address of the MRF Limited Chennai. So whatever may be the registered address that is there in the Chennai, it is a PO receiver. So PO receiver is one of the partner function that a vendor is performing. Then I gave the PO purchase order to the Chennai office. Chennai office will communicate to the Bangalore head office stating that we have received so and so purchase order from the company. Let us say my company is something. Let us say some company, right? Ashok Leyland or something. So this is the company. So they will communicate to the Bangalore address. Let us say my Ashoka Leyland company, which is there. Let us say it is nearer to the Bangalore compared to Chennai. It is nearer to the Bangalore. Then what they will do? They want to save the transportation charges. If they want to save the transportation charges, what they will do? They will call the Bangalore address and they will inform to the Bangalore registered office stating that we have received so and so purchase orders. You please deliver the material from the Bangalore office. So Bangalore office is acting as a goods supplier. It is acting as a goods supplier. So one of the partner role over here. So goods supplier is one of the partner role. Okay, same vendor is performing the two partner roles. One is PO receiver, one is the goods supplier. So my Bangalore office delivered the material to the purchasing department or of the Ashoka Leyland company, which is nearer to the Bangalore office of the vendor. Then an invoice for the delivery of the goods can be raised by the Hyderabad registered office of the vendor, and he will send an invoice against the delivery that is being done by the Bangalore office. So Hyderabad office is the, let me see, Hyderabad office is the invoice generator or invoice sender. Invoice sender or invoice generator, right? So he will be generating the invoice. He will deliver that particular invoice to the purchasing department of the Ashoka Leyland company. So here he is performing a partner role as the invoice sender. Also, against this particular invoice, my purchasing department of the Ashoka Leyland company is trying to process the invoice, and a payment will be processed to the registered office of the Delhi. So nothing but a payment receiver. Here it is the Delhi office. So payment receiver is the one of the partner function that is being executed by the registered office of the Delhi for the vendor. So like this, there are multiple partner roles that a vendor can perform. So all those partner roles will have the multiple addresses, right? You will have registered office of the Chennai, it will have its own address. It will have its own address, right? Why? Because the location itself is changing. Here also it will have a address. Huh? Hmm. Hmm. Yes. Okay, so here also it will have a altogether a separate address. So you want to maintain a multiple addresses based upon the partner rules of your particular vendor. So where you will maintain, so this functionality is not there available in ECC, but here you have this particular functionality. You can maintain multiple addresses for your particular vendor, right? So here you see what is the business address of the vendor, what is the invoicing party address, right? So this is one of the partner function. Then what is the shipping address is nothing but a PO deliver, PO receive, PO supplier, right? Material supplier. So like that for each and every, yeah, for each and every partner function of your particular vendor, you can maintain the address separately over here if you want to maintain. But this is the standard address I just maintained. Let us say I want to maintain the invoicing party address. What I will do, I will go to the create invoice party address and create. So I will just select it. Let me see. Validate, and 1 minute. Where I can maintain the address. Do I need to double click it over here? Address usages. Okay, I will check this, but how to maintain the address for each and every partner function, I will check and I will let you know. Or whatever may be the address we maintained over here, it will be used for all these things. What is create? Create is nothing but address usages or what? Where? Ekada? This is for the standard address, right? Whatever may be the address we maintained over here, that is same thing is showing over here. So this is what we have maintained, right? That is being, I am able to see it over here. Let me see. Okay, I will check and I will let you know the how to maintain the multiple addresses over here. Then you have the identification. So this is also one of the general information of the vendor. Okay. Also you have the controlling information. Control information you already know, right? Control information, it will have various details. In case of ECC, in the control information, you will have the tax related details. Also the So most of the things which you are going to use it in the control information is the tax information of the vendor. What is the TIN number, TAN number, all those things you will be having. Along with that, what type of business he is into. Hmm? Hmm. Where is BP type? Yeah, let us select what is the BP type. So the BP type is, we haven't created the BP type. This is the BP grouping, right? If you want to create the BP type, you need to again do the configuration. Okay, so that is the reason I try to explain it to you. What and all the other. This is the one of the mandatory configurations which we have done. If you want to create a BP type, you need to again do it under the cross application components. Okay, so cross application components, SAP business partner and business partner. Okay, basic settings, business, yeah, business partner types, right? Here you can create business partner types. You want to create a business partner type 0005, you can create your business partner type 005 as well, but then it will be able to, you will be able to see the same over there. Let me see. So like this, you need to do some R&D, whatever may be the things I am trying to explain. Apart from that, if you want to have something to be created, something is in your mind, then you need to explore over here. Okay, let us see. Okay, but for the time being, I will use existing business type only. I don't want to create my one, or what happened. Okay, so I will try to create a business partner type as 0005. So this is a little bit confusing thing, business partner, but it is not that much complicated, but you just need to follow one step-by-step process, then you will be able to get it. So the BP type which I just created 3005 is now available over here for the selection purpose. Also authorization group. What is authorization group? I will select the authorization group as 0001. Authorization group. What is the authorization group? Can anyone tell what is the purpose of the authorization group? The purpose of the authorization group is to restrict the access of the vendor master data to the some group of people. Let us say I created the business partner. I don't want to give access to the production department. So I can restrict the access to the vendor master or the business partner to the people who are working in the production department. In such cases, you are going to use the authorization group. Based upon the authorization group, you can control the access to the relevant department people. Okay, so I think it will take, we need to continue this thing in the next class. We have one query from Satyanarayana. We will see that particular query in the remaining 10 minutes. Okay, again, we need to meet in the next class for the same, for the Hana related concepts. We will discuss in the next class the business partner creation and the vendor master creation completely. It will take at least half an hour to 45 minutes. We will discuss in the next class. And in between, we will go through the one of the query raised by Satyanarayana garu. So what is your query, sir? What issue you are getting? Can you hear me?
Actually, I am getting query like my company code. It's not activated material ledger account.
But are you using S4 HANA?
No, I'm not
Is
using.
it
But
ECC server or S4 HANA server?
can I share my screen?
Yeah, you can. Let me give you the access. Where is Satyanarayana? What is your name? How you put your name so that I can give you the access?
Satyanarayana Billa.
SB.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Yeah, I made you as a presenter now. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you share the screen and show it to me?
Yeah. So
Okay, but this is not a S4 HANA system, right? It is simple ECC, but why you are getting the business part material ledger activation? So can you
yeah,
go to the OMX1 transaction code? OMX1. What is the plant over there? Can you put the plant over there? Yeah, go to position and put the plant. Okay, so 1 minute. So material ledger, that particular checkbox, valuation area, company code, material ledger. 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay, so now go back to the OMX2. OMX2. Okay, what is the material ledger type you have used? OMX3, go to OMX3 /n OMX3 /OMX3. So what is your plant? SCR2, right? SCR2 and material ledger also SCR2. Okay, then go to the CKM start. Can you go to the CKM start transaction code?
CKM.
CKM start. START. Okay, put your plant. Okay, remove test run. Uncheck the test run. Okay, execute it.
Okay.
Okay, start immediately. Confirm. Okay, yes. Enter. Output device LOCL. Put LOCL. No, just put LOCL. Write it down. Or LP0. LOCL. Okay. Formatting set. Okay, click on OK. Okay, go back. SM37. Execute it. Yeah, your job is now finished. I think that issue is now got resolved. Can you go back and try to check that particular transaction which you are trying to execute?
Okay. I understood, sir. But can you give me a step by step? So again, because I have other plans also, I need to execute for other plans as well.
Okay, just try whether that issue resolved or not. We will see first.
Okay.
Now it is resolved, right?
No, actually, I'm not getting here this issue. It's coming in MRP
Yeah, go to MRP.
directly.
Somebody is enter maintain MRP also. Hello? Boss, I am in meeting here. ఉదయాన్నే ఫోన్ చేసి షేర్ ఖాన్ యా
Select anyone.
NORM normal. It's done, right?
Yeah, yeah. Now I think it's valuation plus. Here only I'm getting the problem. Enter standard price.
Enter, enter.
Yeah. Requirements profile. Okay. This one also.
Just save it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's okay. Now it is working fine.
Okay, so now it is done, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because
Okay,
I
so
have
you
other.
just need to execute that particular transaction. CKM start. First, you need to activate the material ledger.
Okay. Uh, those things already done for all the plants. CKM start.
CKM start.
Okay.
Go to the
Here.
plant over there.
Okay. What about them? 10 to. But it should be under same one company code.
No, no, no.
Okay, because I have.
No, not there, not there. That right side arrow box is there, right? Just select there. Remove to. Remove to. Okay, go to the right box. Yeah, here you maintain the other plants.
Okay. Okay. So
Now
now
execute.
I can select enter.
Now execute. Execute it.
Okay. Oh.
Execute that radio alarm button. First one.
Otherwise F8. Click F8.
No, no, yeah, that first one below there is first button, right?
Below
Array?
the first. This one. Okay. So,
Hmm. Now remove
okay.
test run. Remove test run. Test run.
Now execute.
Hmm. Select start immediately. Confirm. Okay, LOCL. Put LOCL. Okay. Okay. That is local printer. Okay, now go to SM37 and see the job status. It is executing the program. So SM37.
Okay. I'm sorry. I need to go back. Yeah. Now execute.
Now it is done. I think it is
For
active
all.
for all the plants.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Then that is enough.
Okay, okay, then see you. Bye bye. So we can meet next week for the same class. Okay, but from Monday onwards, we are going to do regular. Yeah.
No, it's not clear. Monday onwards.
Monday onwards, normal classes only.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? I think somebody asking one more question. Okay, then bye bye. If there is no another questions, we can close the session.